Hello there. A warm welcome to everyone in our UX community joining us from around the world. My name is Ake Rudolph. I'm head of strategy at International Design Center Berlin and the UX Design Awards, and I warmly welcome you to this new edition of the Talent Track series, in which we present new talent winners from the UX Design Awards 2024. We hope to offer you valuable insights into new ideas, the research of the designers, and of course, their design approaches behind the projects. Today, we will present not one, but two projects. So let me briefly introduce them to you. The first one will be Elsewhere with Apple, winner of the Public Choice Award in 24. This concept proposes to interrupt excessive browsing online. And so the idea of the app is that it invites people to go on short interruptions, immerse themselves, become creative, and by doing so, become more aware about themselves and about their surroundings. And the second project, Flowe, won a New Talent Award in 2024 spring. It is an app that supports women's well-being during menopause by encouraging them to remain active, emotionally connected, and to engage with friends and family members. And the project impressed the jury through a very thorough user-centered research and a targeted integration of AI-powered support features. So our first presenter today will be Aline Dalinyuk. She joins us from Toronto in Canada, and she will walk us through her project Elsewhere with Apple. And by the way, as you're watching this now live on LinkedIn, if you have any questions to our presenters, please just post them into the comments of the event, and we'll bring them into short Q&A sessions after each presentation. So, dear Aline, hi there, how are you? Welcome to this Talent Track.
Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. I'm so happy to be here and excited to present Elsewhere with Apple.
Wonderful. So we're looking forward to know more about this very exciting conceptual project. So the screen is yours. Please take it away from here.
Thank you so much. Can you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, wonderful.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Aline. I'm a product designer based in Toronto, Canada, and I will be presenting you a project that was completed as part of my thesis undergrad that I did at OCAD University. And yeah, it started with a personal observation, personal insight. I was curious about spatial awareness, and that's where my research question comes from. And my research question sounds like, in what ways can technologists illuminate liminality to guide digitally trapped users back into physical realization? And I will walk you through the concept. My main insight that drove the whole thesis and ongoing research was that Gen Z's relationship with their smartphones and personal devices brought them a sense of constant connectedness and access to all sorts of information at all time. But at the same time, it also feelings of distraction and decreased productivity, leading them to acknowledge their loss of agency and also put blame on their devices. And that's where I kind of started getting the ideas of how I want to interrupt this pattern. I will be presenting from
with Elsewhere.
Sorry. I will be
with
Apologies. Can I stop sharing? There's a technical difficulty. I need a few minutes. Sorry about that.
Sure, no problem. We encounter this all the time. And of course, when you present live, this is just what happens. So it's absolutely natural. Don't worry about this. And please, everybody, have a little bit of patience, and it's worth it, and it's worth to wait for the great film that Aline developed for this project. And as we take a brief pause waiting for Alina to restart, let me tell you once again that if you have any questions, please just post them to the event chat, and I'll be very happy to bring them into our Q&A session right after the presentation. I'll try my best to bring as many questions in as possible, and hopefully you'll get an answer. And of course, you can reach out to our speakers directly through LinkedIn. You can check our website, uxdesignawards.com, the tab events, and you'll find the LinkedIn links to our speakers. Okay, we're back here with Alina.
Apologies for the technical difficulty.
No worries.
I will continue. Sorry about that. As I mentioned, the insight drove my research, and I will introduce you my user persona. My user persona is Azima. She's a 24-year-old full-time student. She's studying computer science, and she's fully aware that her screen time per day is 7.5 hours on a good day, maybe even more. And she cares about her digital well-being, and she wants to do something about it. So her main goals are highlighted here, and they're manage technology usage and reduce guilt from wasting time on the devices, and become more intentional with her screen time. My whole purpose of this project was not to position the phone as a bad guy, not to remove the phone. I'm not saying that we're gonna throw phones and stop using them. No, the biggest challenge was to keep the phone and create something that's gonna be part of your phone that will talk to users through their phones, because the phone's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. That's why I'm introducing Elsewhere with Apple, and I'll preview how the 4 levels that I'm going to introduce will work and guide Azima through her experience with Elsewhere.
With Elsewhere, you teach it and it guides you through 4 levels of real-time content: color and cognition, tactile sound, visual connection, and then asks you a contextual question. And when your journey is complete, you're invited to reflect, to capture the lessons that you've learned and express them all through photography, videography, writing, or audio recording. A chance to break free from the digital bond and to connect with what truly matters to you. Your potential space is waiting for you. Elsewhere, here and now.
So as you've seen in the video, Elsewhere consists of 4 levels, and they are color and cognition, tactile sound, visual connection, and then it concludes with contextual question. That's where I'm breaking this digital liminality and taking users back into physical realization with something that requires them to look around, notice things, and go back to what was actually important to them. And I conclude with a reflection piece where they can submit text, image, video, audio, or the experience can be interrupted at any point. They don't have to complete all the levels. They can just start with the first one and then end it there. They don't have to complete the reflection. And whenever the application prompts you to start the experience, if you don't feel like it, you don't have to do it. So in this case, Azima was willing to start the experience. She went through all the levels. She completed the reflection. She submitted a selfie. And then after the experience was completed, the app just closes down and she can't really use it on its own. She can only use it when the app detects that she's about to go into this potential space of hers. It will prompt her to start the experience and suggest to complete the levels. So the reflection will be saved in the application, in the diary, and that's why I'm also calling it as a tracker for your digital liminality. On its own, you can't really use the application, but you can go in and see all the reflections that were submitted. You can go through them as memories. You can see when was it, how much time you spent, how many levels you completed, and hopefully that can also prompt some. Maybe you were in a creative block. Maybe it will prompt some memories. Maybe it will unlock something. Again, that's just speculative design, but that's what I'm hoping to get out of it. And now onboarding. Azima upgrades her iPhone to iOS 17 and discovers Elsewhere with Apple app built into her phone. She opens the app for the first time and then signs in with her Apple ID. She enables Face ID. She agrees to terms and conditions and now is about to start an onboarding process that consists of 5 simple steps: getting started, algorithm, potential space, reflection, and timepiece. When her initial setup is complete, Azima can access the app's navigation, which includes Home, Insights, her timepiece, and Settings. She is looking forward to exploring how Elsewhere with Apple can help her achieve her personal goals. There are so many components into the prototype. It went through multiple usability testing. I started with almost paper prototype, seeing how people were connecting the terminology, the language. It was a huge barrier at first. And then once I got to medium fidelity, I started seeing the results. I started seeing how the levels are progressing, if users are understanding of what prompts are requiring them to do. Also, there was a lot of experimentation, what prompts to use. That's why I went with the most common ones that people who've used some other apps were aware of, and was seeing how those were performing. And to highlight another aspect was a timepiece that I'm still developing and hoping to take it to the next steps. Timepiece is something that you get in the beginning of using Elsewhere with Apple. And if you stick with the application for 365 days, that's something that will grow with you. So the more you use the app or the more you interact with it, even if you just reject the application to start the experience, the timepiece will collect all this data and will shape itself, will change color, will change texture. And at the end of 365 days, it will break down and will show you even more detailed report of your digital liminality and how you spend time specifically with Elsewhere, how much time you spent, what you did, how many reflections you submitted, what kind of reflections you submitted, and what your key findings can be found there. And to conclude, I would like to say that Elsewhere with Apple encourages Azima to optimize her living experience and obviously achieve her goals. It helps her prioritize what truly matters to her, and those are all reasons to believe. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alina. It's a super exciting project. I admit that we had a hard time understanding, what the goal is, because it's very conceptual. It's very theoretic, but now I really get it. I mean, on first step, it might seem contradictory to let people immerse in an app, to let them interrupt mobile use. Any thoughts on this?
I'm not saying it's for everyone. I'm not saying everyone absolutely needs to do that. No, it's something that I would like to use, something that people I've tested it with were interested in. And again, it's there. It's a feature in the phone, and it will detect when you need it. And obviously, if the more you reject it, the more it will know when to not ask you to complete the experience. So I'm hoping that it will learn from you and it will prompt whenever it's needed, but obviously not everyone needs this app. And it's just absolutely voluntarily for someone who's interested, like Azima.
I mean, I find it a very interesting approach of not saying like you need screen time, your phone gets blocked, but a very playful way to actually engage with the phone at the same time, disengage a little bit. So it's a very poetic and playful way, and it's actually, maybe that's the reason why most people voted for your project, because it touched something in them. I'm wondering about the 4 steps that you built in, related probably to senses, like text, tactile, visual, challenges, let's say, or step of elsewhere. How did you decide upon those? Is it part of something that came up in user research? Why did you choose these, let's say, small challenges?
It came out of my research, researching liminal design principles and just observing what's out there already, what people are familiar with. And the main component that I wanted to create was I needed the input of a user to be in real time, and I needed them to create that input. So they're actually there for their thoughts. So they're not given anything to read. They're not given anything to listen. No, it's actually coming from them. So tactile sound, they're producing sound and they're seeing the visualization of their sound. Breathing, again, it's your breathing, you interact with the pattern that's on the screen. Then I also have the visual connection. So you establish a visual connection with your phone camera, and again, speculative design features that you will see your neuron activity patterns on the screen. Again, you just seeing what's coming out is produced by you in real time. And I'm hoping that it's gonna be you've been there for your own thoughts, you've been there for your own input, and that was my main idea of all those prompts that I've used.
I'm wondering, last question maybe, is there any feedback you get from people? Did you test them, the app with different users, and what was their impression?
Yeah, obviously, there were multiple rounds of usability while building the prototype, and then the final version. I did have a few inputs, but not fully completed usability testing. But I'm hoping to take it to the next level where it's going to be even more high fidelity and a bit more functionality. But people were curious. Obviously, the first reaction was it's so abstract, and people, a lot of people were confused of why am I still using the phone if you want me to reduce my screen time? Why am I again going through different levels? But then once they completed and then they did it again, they started understanding, especially when I started using the word tracker for your digital liminality, this association with being like tracker for steps, tracker for physical activity, same tracker for using this app. That started clicking, and I started getting a bit more detailed feedback. But I just love that people were curious about the concept. It's a bit different from screen time. Screen time is just not letting you use the apps or sets restriction, but I wanted to do something different. And I wanted to have this gentle interruption. That's why I'm saying, okay, let's not put the phone away. Let's do something fun with the phone. And then you will hopefully get distracted from all the notifications and stuff that's been going on. And you break the pattern and then you go back. Because the last level is asking you, can you look around and count how many rectangle objects you see? And obviously you have to notice things. You have to listen. You have to be present. That's why, yeah, hoping to get more feedback, questions.
Yes, sounds great. And everybody watching out there, if you have more questions to Alina, send them my way. I was wondering, do people kind of build a kind of diary of their each time they are interrupted, a kind of multi-sensory diary of what they recorded and created?
Yes, correct. Everything is being recorded, how many levels they completed, what time of day, when was it, and the reflection. It's all being saved, and it's being saved in your timepiece as well. And the timepiece is growing with time. And then at the end, you can see the full breakdown. But meanwhile, until you completed a full year, I didn't see a huge significance to show less than anything than a year. That's why you can just go back and see your memories, see how you breathe, see what color you chose, see how your sound waves were on that day, and yeah, your inputs that were created in real time.
Sounds wonderful. And also there's like almost an unlimited sea of opportunities and possibilities there to evaluate this feedback, visualize it, maybe add it with some, I don't know, even evaluation in terms of mindfulness, whatever. Congratulations on this great project, Alina. What's next? Are you planning to further develop it?
I'm deeply passionate about my research question. It's something that was always at the back of my mind, but I never put it in those words. And now when I have my research question and I know the areas that I want to explore, I definitely want to take it further. I want to work with more people who are interested in this subject. And yeah, I want to take a step further with the research question. Maybe something else come out of it. Maybe not this concept, but something else, because I'm curious about spatial awareness. And again, what my insight showed is that it is dangerous to lose a sense of spatial awareness at any point of time, because we're bumping into each other on the street when using our phones. We bump into each other at the grocery store when we're distracted by phones. So it's not just about not being here, it's also about being aware of what's around you.
Definitely. We see more and more people just wandering the streets with a phone instead of asking directions, which could also connect them to somebody else, or in a foreign country have an unexpected experience that might be really interesting and living. So I wish you a lot of success with the continuation of this project, Alina, and thank you very much for presenting and being with us now.
Thank you so much.
So now let me introduce the second project. It's the new Talent Award winner, Flowe. And the Flowe app will be presented by Hyejeong Son, Young Ko, and Youngsun from Korea. They are all here, the entire project team. And thank you very much for being here with us, especially considering it's very late in the evening where you are. So we're looking forward to see a bit more about your project and to hear you. The screen is yours.
Hi, we are Seohyun Kang, Ujeong, Youngsun, Hyejeong Son, majoring in industrial design at Sungmyeon University. First, thank you for inviting this UX Design Award ceremony. It's really an honor for us to present our project at the UX Design Award. Let's start with the presentation of Flowe, a healthy menopause life that belongs together. In Korea, there are lots of women who are suffering from menopausal symptoms. From women's late 40s, 43% of women said they were going through menopause. Menopause symptoms include a variety of symptoms such as fever, depression, lethargy, and bursitis. About 69% of women said they felt these symptoms seriously. In addition, women are starting to engage in their economic activities, and economic initiatives are also being handed over to women, so the femtech market about women's health is becoming very active. In fact, market breadth of global femtech is expected to increase from $25 billion in 2020 to $65 billion in 2027. With the severity of these menopausal women's symptoms and the growth of the femtech market, we plan the service to alleviate the symptoms for menopausal women in the femtech market. And we thought that our service had a good business model due to the combination of pain point and needs from menopausal women and femtech market state. It's a service Flowe that do not overcome alone, but overcomes with friends, family, and women going through the menopause.
In the early stages of service planning, we drew insights from user research. First, we surveyed menopausal women and their families to understand the extent to which they perceived conflict. We found that the families of menopausal women perceived and felt more conflict than the menopausal women themselves, and wanted to resolve conflict with the menopausal women. In conclusion, both the menopausal women and their families felt conflict and were trying to overcome it. What's more, when we conducted in-depth interviews with menopausal women, they themselves said they wanted to overcome menopause. Women talked about trying to overcome menopause by stepping out of the role of mother and learning about themselves through their own emotional and physical endeavors. From the previous user research, we were able to summarize 3 pain points and came up with a solution. First, menopause is difficult to overcome alone, so we want to help women overcome menopause by communicating with other 40 to 50 women who are going through menopause, as well as their families, on a mission to be healthy in body and mind. Second, even menopausal women themselves are ignorant about menopause, so we want to help them learn about menopause with knowledgeable content and identify their own menopause symptoms through self-diagnosis through Flowe's app. Third, we want to help women form habits and record their menopausal symptoms through our mission to see the changes they can make. So our goal for the project is to share your feelings about menopause with family and friends while staying active yourself. The Flowe service has 5 main features. The main homepage of the app provides solutions to menopause ignorance through menopause-related contents and short-form videos. The challenge feature creates missions to help menopausal women keep their bodies and minds healthy, and rewards them with flower tea bags for completing them, which can ultimately make a difference in the lethargic menopause. Physical health services provide specific diagnosis and easy recording so you can closely monitor changes in your physical symptoms during menopause on your own. Mental health services help you keep your mind healthy and connect with the people in your life through self-reflective journals and letters. Finally, my page helps menopausal women keep track of their own health through numerical data and graphs over time. Through usability testing, we were able to discover the difficulties users encountered when using Flowe services. First, we improved the convenience with a single flow. Previously, users felt complicated to use the service because the 2 main services provided by the mental health feature, write a letter and write a diary, were organized on separate screens. But after the usability test, we organized the flow of the service using tabs on one main screen to make it feel more simple. Next, we modified the overall UI to make it look bigger and more intuitive. In the case of the main screen of the challenge, the previous UI configuration allowed you to check the progress of the mission through the progress bar. but we realized that the amount of information coming in at once made the screen look a bit cluttered. Therefore, we removed the progress bar to create an intuitive UI that focuses more on the challenge itself. Finally, I'd like to conclude with some lessons learned from this project. We are able to empathize with other users and study them in depth through both quantitative and qualitative user research. We were also able to explore this direction of providing new experiences to users by planning services using the latest technology AI. Thank you for listening to Flowe's presentation. And if you would like more details about our app service, you can view it in the award winners gallery. Thank you.
Thank you so much for both of you. If you switch off your presentation, I would have, thanks, I would have a couple of questions. First of all, congratulations on this great concept app and the thorough process and research you did on it. I'm curious to know, how did this idea start? So how was this concept born? Why did you start on this topic?
Honestly, this topic is from my experience. There is conflict with my mother because of my mother's menopause. So I think the service for menopause is really necessary thing. So we just plan a service and design.
Right. So it started from your own experience, which is and observing, which is of course like the key in design. I'm wondering about one thing, and I hope you don't mind this question, but you're focusing almost exclusively on women with Flowe. I'm wondering, what about did you think about including also other stakeholders, so to say? Could be husbands, men, and children as well, because there might be a gap of information also on their part, and so the family or the community of women is also very important in either being supportive, but also maybe not as supportive. So just to put it short, like, did you consider also addressing, for instance, men, the husband of women, or the children? So maybe let me jump to the next question. I understand that the app also collects health data of women using it. Is that correct?
Sorry, can you say one more slowly?
Oh, so does the app also collect health data of women?
Yeah, right.
Okay. And did you think about how to evaluate this data? For instance, is there some advice on actionable on how people can act on the analysis of their data? For instance, if there is a context, if somebody feels down physically, then would the app give them an advice to how to react?
There is no react, just record the menopausal woman's body record, like heart rate or exercise. So there is no feedback. Maybe we just reflect your feedback and improve our UI.
Right. Did you think about connecting through the app also to advisors, such as medics, therapists, maybe?
Yeah, we just plan if the menopausal women use our application, they can connect the therapist or the mental health hospital, and also there is some chatting service, so they can chat with doctor or therapist.
Right. And what about building a community? Is there an option to chat with other women as well, and maybe to meet up and talk, which is also very important, I think, socially?
Yeah, they can communicate by using our community, so they can share their feelings or conflict in their personal home, so they can overcome together by using our community.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for presenting Flowe, and dear all, it's been great to have you here with us. And thanks for sharing your work with our UX community, and congratulations, of course, above all, on winning the UX Design Awards. We wish you really the best for your next steps and, of course, for the continuation of this project. So thanks to everyone for joining and for listening in. If you missed anything, our recording will be up on LinkedIn and on our website very soon. And just a little bit of advice, stay connected with us, because on July 18th, we will announce the new nominees of the current award autumn season. The jury nominated 180 entries from 50 countries this time. So we're really looking forward to share the details of all these great projects. Until then, I wish you a wonderful morning, day, or night, wherever you are around the world. Bye-bye, and see you very soon.